All right, loves, thank you so much for coming back. I am your host, Dee Shields. You can find relationship coaching sessions over on dshields.com. To continue on, we do not want to stay away from the app too much because it will get frustrated while I'm traveling. I am not recording in the studio. I am out of Colorado traveling, recording right now. A little more difficult to do. Now, point number one, I am responding to a TikTok user, Dana Dane, moreteawithdee episode today. She said, men enjoy sex but do not like women. So go over to part one, get that intro. We're going to continue on. Number one point that I made was acknowledge this. We need to not let men get away with it by just saying that's just how it is. I said it's a disaster for the future of relationships, and it's time for accountability with men on the behavior, right? So beware of bitter women advising you, all right? Be very, very aware of bitter women advising you. That was part number two. So part one was accountability. And then we went with beware of bitter women advising you. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. Let's get back over to the list for number three. Listen, beware of hurt women predators. See, what in the entire hell is hurt women predators, right? And I only laughed at the fact that I said what in the entire hell, because we are not laughing at these predators. Listen, there are people that are preying on you because they need to survive during a very extreme financial disastrous crisis, right? And one of the complicated subjects that is not to be dealt with lightly is being used, right? And they have decided that they're going to use the plight of hurt women to profit. And they make money with these viral TikToks. We've seen what happened with Derek Jackson. And you guys are thinking that only men are doing that. See, here's my track record. The couples that I've been talking to and helping have been around for decades. The books that I've been writing about have been around 11 years now. These very same topics. Those people that you're listening to giving you this crappy advice, they just got started during the pandemic. And when they saw that you guys soak it up, they are now out of control with it, right? So just be mindful. We'll talk more about it. We don't want to go into a long part about that. We'll do a session and we'll talk about it, okay? But I need you to be extremely mindful that this happens, that people will prey on your hurt. They will prey on your breakup, because a lot of those happened during the pandemic, didn't they? A lot of breakups, divorces, destruction happened to people, and their livelihood and the love that they had did not survive the pandemic. It's not just jobs that didn't survive. It's not just lives that were lost. Livelihood, mental stability, the capacity of being able to maintain that relationship and just get through the things that you desire to get through, right? So this is a little deep for someone, and you need a little bit more one-on-one so we can kind of get you on track to whether or not you need a relationship coach, or is it possible that you're needing deeper counseling, and we can do a session and talk about that. I'm very good at doing referrals out when it's beyond where I choose to work in this particular field right now. So we'll talk about it. But I just wanted to drop that on you, so that one was thrown in there for food of thought. Okay? So beware of bitter women advising you is number 2. Beware of hurt women predators. A person I ask, who hurt you? If I see you post a video that says, all men enjoy sex, but they don't like you, that's destructive. Okay, that's personal. And that's not the facts about all men. Okay? So who hurt you? That's definitely not something that you want to put out. That's an opinion, and that is not a fact. Okay? Now, do we understand that men are complicated, that men have a lot of behaviors and things that they do that, that you need to be aware of? And sure, but don't be destructive. Don't give out what you feel is the law in 60 seconds on TikTok unless you can back it up with the website and different things that people can come to you and be fed a little bit more than that basic opinion. All right? So let's move on. I lost her at basic anyway. All right, so look, check your bitter is number 4. It often accepts what tastes right for the hurt season that you are in. So you have to check your bitter. I am talking from experience after breakups. I'm talking from not just after my life. Here I am, 47 years old, telling you some gems for free. But I'm talking from experience, but I'm also talking from, people that I know, right? People that I've coached and been around. And so these are the check. It's something that I always, not for bragging rights, but just to make sure that you understand that I'm not just I don't have a gimmick. Right? I'm just consistently me over and over for decades. The person that people have been coming to trying to figure out their life since I was 16 trying to figure out mine. And people had this thought process that something that I was doing was helping them. And there were times before I even understood it and went to school for it and how to structure it that I was figuring it out. I was super young, right? So this is someone who's been doing this for a long time. Don't just accept anyone giving this to you. Everybody can pull a gimmick together and call it coaching and call it good for you and be leading you down the path of Lucifer's hell. All right. So that was number 4. Check your bitter. It often accepts what tastes right for the hurt season that you are in. Can I say something? Sidebar? Accept. It's not always EXCEPT, okay? So I see that a lot. So when I say sentence structure, and I'm just going to go off the way sidebar right now. It often accepts what tastes right for the hurt season you're in. When I say that, it's going to be ACCEPTS. I see people do sentences and yeah, okay. So, but it's important when you're doing notes with me that as a Virgo, I see your notes and I don't have to come for you. I want your notes to be right. All right, let's get on. So number 4, check your bitter. It often accepts what tastes right for the hurt season that you are in. You need a session on that. I'm available. We can talk about it. dshields.com. Relationship coaching session. Just click on it. Let's book a session and we'll talk deeper on that, right? That's not for everybody in the audience to hear your business, girl. That's a one-on-one. All right, so number 5 is, this closes it up. Make sure you go back and press part 1 if you did only tune in at part 2. I'm traveling, forgive that. Part 1, part 2. Number 5, never say all. Men and women walk towards you from all walks of life. Okay? My mother, one of her number one advices, yep, that's a thing. My mother, one of her number one things to say and advise was, listen, you cannot say all about anything. And if I took anything and made sure that stayed with me, it created the critical thinker that I am. It created this desire to research and review and hear multiple backgrounds, persons speak on the same topic so that I could get a well-rounded opinion about how I now personally feel about a particular topic. You do not listen to one person, one group of people, one way of thinking individuals. You go across the board, right? So I may listen to a coach in Australia. I may listen to a coach in London. I may take a listen to one of my favorites, Vanika, Deepak Chopra, and the list goes on and on, Simi Arar. I may listen to those people coming out from all walks of life, and Simi and Vanika and Deepak are in India. So like I may get a wide range. I'll go to Black America. I've got my Missy Yonda Bonset. Like I'm going to go across the board and hear a whole bunch of people tell me something on that similar or same topic. And then I'm going to form, as a critical thinker, I'm going to be secure in my decision to now form my opinion on whether or not that's it. Listening to one group of people who think and do one way, be very in tune with who you are so that you can recognize when you're caught up with people that are all doing and saying and thinking the same thing and being the same way, and get out of that. I thought I was going to say something more, profound than that, and I have nothing more. Get out of that way of being. You have to be well-rounded when you are still struggling to figure out the secret of relationships. There's a secret, but you have to do those sessions with me. There's a secret, and you're going to get to a balanced way. You're going to, the questions that come to me, I can see the lack of balance. When people say, Dee, how did you go through this? And get it? And how did you this? And how did you? Trust me. There's a secret. All right? So I have nothing more. I am Dee Shields across social media. No, that's not my name. Like, I am Dee Shields is how you find me across social media. Dee Shields is my name. So I am Dee Shields across social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all type of ways to DM me. Facebook has the new page. Please follow that because you could go over to the Ask Diva page where I've been for decades, just so that you could get your, make sure that I'm valid. You can also go to Amazon. Amazon will tell you how long I've been around. I write under Miss Diva, MZDEEVA Shields. So you can find my books there, or you'll find my books under Deanna, DE, capital ANNA, Miss Diva Shields. But for right now, with the rebranding and making things a lot more simpler so that people can, over the decades coming, keep up, then we're going to just be finding me under Dee Shields as we go forward, okay? So, but you can find me and get your receipts so you can know your girl, know what she's talking about. This has been Relationship Church. I'm the first to do it, right? She's a creator. She's phenomenal. Yeah, so this has been a Relationship Church service. Feel free to, send me a lot of love. Purchase a book. That tithing of sort will help me in a lot of areas with getting the word out, because when I see things like people taking the lives of their loved one, people taking the lives of their children, people being irresponsible with their children, people being irresponsible with their families, then I'm all in. I'm taking it to another level at this point, because I can no longer sit back and not push hard with the gifts that I have. Because not only was I born this way, seriously, relationship talks is my teens, pre-teens probably. I am, my father's child, and that's another subject, because I'm so much like Daddy with a lot of the ways that he was with helping people, right? But I went to school for this as well, so I have my 10 years to get a 4-year life going on when it comes to studying psychology, studying social work, studying child development, studying relationships, studying relationship coaching under some of the greatest people that are out there coaching. Life coaching, I've studied under Tony Robbins. Life coaching, I've studied under Jay Shetty. Life coaching, I've studied and taken classes in so many different areas, and I'm an avid follower a student of Deepak Chopra and Ian Levanzette, and the list just goes on, and I'm a certified life coach in my own right. So trust me, I can't tell you enough one of the points that I made. So make sure you go back and rewind it on why I'm giving you credentials and why that's so important, that not just highlighted credentials that people put on paper. We need to understand the movement of life experience and why that matters more than some cheat sheet that someone can do on a piece of paper, right? So I make sure that I study so that I can give you guys, what's required in this society that tries to control how and who tells you anything. But at the same time, you need to use your critical thinking, common sense skills to know when someone is good for you. You can feel it, so that you can know who you should consider that to be the Bible, the gospel of how relationships are. Okay, so More Tea with D. It's always going to look different when you show up over here. That's it. I am D Shields across social media, dshields.com to book your relationship coaching session. I'm traveling this morning. I'm out, so you guys have a good one.